All right, how you guys doing? Hello, Corey. I've got my sweet camera and my sweet light set up today with my epic blue and purple background, so looking sweet. Hey, Tony. Hey, Marcus. Hey, Carlos. We've got 7 people here. I've sent an email out to the list as well, so we'll see who shows up. I can't remember how many we had last week. I think we're getting on average about like between 15 and 20, I think, something like that. So we'll give it a few more minutes. Let me have a look at my trading view, see if there's anything I want to show you, anything that stands out. Anybody who's got any questions, requests, anything at all, then let me know, and we can take a look at something, we can explore something, we can play with things, whatever you guys want to do. So I've just eaten. That's why I'm like just sort of finished my meal. So let's go back into cool. Well, no one's writing anything, so I'm assuming that you just want to watch me do my thing. Which I'm happy to do, but would be nice if we got some interaction. If we got some questions or some kind of direction you guys want me to go in. What module are you guys on? Go in the chat and tell me what module you're on. Are you on 18? Are you on 17, 16, 15? What's the most challenging thing for you right now? What's the thing which is a roadblock for you, or what's stopping you being profitable right now? Zifa says module 14. Corey's on 19, obviously. Carlos is on module 11. Marcus says I'm on 19. Watching you do Bitcoin is good for me. Good stuff. And stays on module 7. Tony's on module 16. Yeah, so we've got a nice varied bunch. How are you all finding the process? How are you all finding the course? Are you all feeling challenged yet optimistic? Are you feeling positive? Are you feeling excited? Are you feeling frustrated? Are you feeling hopeful, negative, pessimistic? What, terrified? What are you feeling? I should have brought some water. No, I'll be right. Zephus is making sense of corrections. Okay. Well, if you want to make sense of corrections, this is the best time to do it, because Bitcoin has just been in this epic. Yeah, Tony says this correction phase is challenging. It is. It is. Marcus says I've gone through a wave count myself on the up at present. Nice. Okay. Oh, there goes my light. There we go. Carlos says corrections are really challenging. Yeah, because by their very nature, they are, unpredictable. All right, let me just take this off. No, just the jumper. That's all I'm taking off for you guys today. I've got 2 jumpers on because I'm in the Bulgarian mountains and it's cold, so I've got loads of layers on. All right, so let's just jump into it then. We've been waiting for people for 5 minutes. Oh, I think that's enough time. So, yeah, what can we do today? What can we do? Let me share my screen. There we go. So what did I say last week? What was I going on about last week? I think this is, I don't think I had advanced this. This is like a wave count that I posted, I believe on Saturday, I think. So it would have been, yeah, just a few days ago. I think, I can't remember. I've just been working so bloody much on this, on module 19. Yeah, so this hasn't changed. My outlook is still that this is all still wave 4, and this is a wave A and a wave B, and we've got a wave C coming. The next alternative is really not really much different, which is this is a W and an X and then a Y. So the only difference would be the structure of this this upward move. So I'm still anticipating quite a strong move up. The counter wave count would be that this correction still hasn't finished yet, right? What I've got here is a WXY. It could just, there's another possibility that this is all still an X, and we've got another leg down, another Y down here, right? Which would, like it would fall down here, and that's why I've got this second red line. So it's like I've got a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like expecting like an impulse, and the alternate, meaning if you've got a bullish outlook, well, what's the bearish outlook, would be that this is still the X, and we've got the final Y still to come. So it's just a case of just kind of watching this play out. I think I said last week, I've said on one of the Wavecast that while I'm so pressed doing all the other things, I'm not going to be doing any kind of like trade setups or anything on these Wavecasts, because you need more time. And there's unless I see something in the moment and we kind of it's just we've got a perfect window to work on it. Otherwise, it would be doing you guys a disservice if I'm just sort of throwing things out there like, yeah, this is a buy, this is a sell. Like there's guys out there who do that, and I think that's what's the word I'm looking for? Irresponsible. So these wave counts are so that you can just get a peek into like my mind and how I think, my thought process as I'm looking at looking at the wave counting process, so that you can just it can help you with your the way that you approach these charts. The specific wave counts, sorry, the specific trade setups themselves, you can see them in the course, right? I go specifically into the 5th wave trade setup, the 3rd wave trade setup, etc., etc., etc. So if I see something as it's unfolding while we're live, and I can say, the most you'll hear me say is, this looks like an interesting potential 5th wave setup that you might want to look at, kind of thing. That's as far as I will go. I'm not going to be telling you guys what to do on these wavecasts. Just remembered, I'm just gonna join the live stream on my phone, so then I can see what you guys are writing in the chat. Let's have a look. Groups, wave counters. There we go. Okay. Cool. Why won't it let me connect? Okay, why won't it let me connect for some reason? Okay, well, I can't, it's not letting me connect for some reason, so I'm going to have to just kind of pop back to the chat every now and then and have a look. Zifa says I can no longer hear. I don't know. I'm sure it's working for the rest of you. So I'm going to just go back into the chart. Oh, you can hear now. Sweet. Okay. Okay. So, okay, I made these like really big and thick because I was taking a screenshot on the macro. But you can see I've started to add these market structure lines. And this is because this is in preparation for in module 19, which I'm still working on. There's going to be a section that talks about how to confirm your pivot points, but this also is going to help you confirm, because what is a pivot point? And if you haven't got to module 19 yet, or sorry, module 18, you won't know what I'm talking about. But a pivot is just the end of a trend. It's like when a trend changes from a bull trend to a bear trend. It's called a pivot. Using different vocabulary, it's like they call it swings. I call it waves, or cycles. And you would call it like a pivot from one swing to the next. Then it's like one cycle to the next, one trend to the next. And one of the ways that you would go about confirming a trend change is when you get a break in market structure. So let me I've got these templates, lower high, there we go. So what I'm looking for is, because we've got these lower low here, right? That's why the L high, LL is lower low, L high is lower high. And then in the blue, that's when we get a change. We get a higher low, and then there'll be a higher high. So we can see here we've got this. This is a lower high compared to this, and this is a lower high here as well. So in order for this downtrend to be confirmed as having finished, because I've said, I think that this is the Y wave down here. This is the B wave, right? The wave count I've currently got says that this is the completion of the this downtrend. And this hasn't been confirmed yet because price is still down here, and we haven't broken out above the very least. It's got to break up like above this lower high right there. Let's just do that as well. Lower, where are we? So it's got to break out above, at the very least, this lower high. That's our first target, and then the next target would be this lower high here. So until it breaks out above this, this is still this downtrend hasn't been confirmed as having finished. And especially, this is called a shift pitchfork, and this is something we're going to be going through in module 19 for those of you who are on module 18. And it's a variation on the shift pitchfork which you use usually on the last leg of a correction, because the last leg of a correction is usually the wave which starts to show weakness, and that weakness is discovered and mapped with a shift pitchfork. And also after you get a really strong move down like this, and we can see that price has actually responded to this shift pitchfork really nicely. You can see that price at this drop down here, it just pinged the median line of the shift pitchfork perfectly, and as it's come back up, and it's hit the upper parallel, found support, come back down, it's come back up again, found support, resistance, it's found resistance on the upper parallel. So until it breaks out above this upper parallel, and then above this lower high, and then above this lower high, I'm not seeing this as confirmed. So when it comes to like looking for trade setups, this is the kind of thinking, right? Even though I think this is the mistake a lot of newbies make, and some of you out there are making this. You've done your wave count, and then you're just making trades. It's like you're doing a wave count. You go, right, well, I think that's a 1, 2, and a 3. Right, I think that's a 4, so I'm going to buy here. And then that's it. That's your analysis. 1, 2, 3. That's definitely a 4. It's like, okay, but is that the only thing you're doing? Like, have you looked at the macro? Oh god, have you looked at the macro wave structure? Because oftentimes what happens is like you just do a wave count, and then it's not what's happening at all. This was a correction. This is like it wasn't what you thought it was, and then you get frustrated, and you've got to look for confirmation, right? A wave count on its own is just a hypothesis. It's just a hypothesis, right? And it's so powerful as a hypothesis, because then it's like, okay, here's my hypothesis. My hypothesis is that this is the end of a correction. So for example, my hypothesis is that this is we're in a fourth wave correction, and this is an A and a B. So my hypothesis is that we're expecting a C upwards, right? That's what my wave count says. That's what the price action, just in terms of like the corrective nature, and obviously the macro position of where it is in the entire grand scheme of things. Like everything that I've been looking at is pointing to this being the case. But that being said, did I just move something? I think I just moved something. No, I didn't. That being said, that on its own, just because I'm sitting here going, oh yeah, I think that's going to happen, that's not a trade setup, right? That's not a trade setup, because we haven't, this downtrend hasn't been, the change of this trend hasn't been confirmed. Okay, so even though I've got some pretty, numbers, and I'm like, oh, okay, yep, this is the end of the trend, not necessarily, right? Because we're inside, like this complex correction is like, it's fucking nuts. It's bloody nuts, right? So there is, it's totally possible that this is still the X wave correction, and we're going to get this, something. Well, now maybe something like this. We might get a pull down. So, and I think this frustrates some traders because they want to get stuck in there, right? Now, this is on this time frame. We're on the 4 hour. Obviously, if you go down into the 5 minutes, you're in that time frame, then there's going to be a lot more faster opportunities, right? But because I'm so busy working on the course and so busy working on the business and other things, I can't do that kind of trading. I can't spend that time at the screen the whole time. So this is the kind of trading the only kind of trading right now where I can sort of watch the market develop over with this time frame until I can see a trading opportunity. So if I was looking for a trade here and I was looking to get into this really beautiful uptrend, if that does take place, I want to look. There's plenty of time to get, if this plays out, there's plenty of time to get in there, right? So I want to wait for it to be confirmed, and the first, and confirmation is probably too strong a word, but the first like indicator that perhaps this is going to play out is it needs to break this lower high, and it has to break especially this lower high, right? Now, obviously, once it breaks this lower high, then we're off to the races. But that's like, that'll be, you still have like a good amount of time to get in. But yeah, that would be a big confirmation. But, and also, breaking out of this descending channel, right? Also would be another, confirmation that this is potentially going to do what I'm thinking it's going to do, right? But at the moment, it's not giving me no signs, so I'm just chilling out, just taking it easy, and just watching it unfold. So I've got here like wave 1, and I haven't updated this, so whether that's a wave 2 or we've still got this correction still in play. If I go down to this into the lower time frame, what have I got here? Let's have a look. Oh, here we go. Sorry, let's go a bit closer. So yeah, it's kind of like an odd. Obviously, you got this like really sort of this bowl shape, and in classic technical analysis, if it came up a little bit higher, you might have a potential cup and handle. But then if it goes a little bit higher, you might have a look like a double top. But like this, I was looking at this as being impulsive. Obviously, this with this volume down here, 1, 2, 3, and then a very, very shallow 4 possible. This 1 is kind of an odd shape, but it is possible. I haven't gone too deep into the Fibonacci relationships there. It's like when I'm doing a hypothesis, I start on the macro first, and I have my ideas, my hypotheses on the macro first, because if something doesn't make sense on the macro, there's no point in going deeper. It's like, okay, you wait till you've got a hypothesis that makes sense on the macro, and by macro I mean like the 4 hour, whatever it is, right? You think, okay, and this is again another mistake that I think some newer wave counters make, because you have the hypothesis in the macro and you go, right, well, I'm not going any deeper because then my hypothesis might be proven wrong, so I'm just not going to even look at it. And that's crazy. That's like looking into water, saying, well, I can't see any sharks, so it's totally fine. It's like, no, you got to kind of, well, maybe that's not the perfect analogy, because if you go down into the water, you're going to get eaten by the sharks. Anyway, you have to go in and test your hypotheses. And this is a really odd structure, right? Very odd structure, but we got this really explosive move. And what I really liked about this move was that it just eliminated like a lot of this like market structure, which I'll just kind of label right now. In fact, I might change these to straight lines. I think they're kind of cool. Yeah, I'll do that. So yeah, oh, that's the wrong button. There we go. So it just broke out of this one, and so two lower highs. It just blasted through with volume, which I really, really like to see. And this down here is, if this is a where are we? So we've got just lower lows, and I'll just, in fact, I'm going to keep these as straight lines because they are not dashed lines. Let's resave that. There you go, lower low, save, yes. Let's keep that. And then just like, another one. In fact, let's just copy these. You get the idea, right? And obviously, the big one here. That was obviously the epic lower low. And then as price came down, I've got to copy this. My bad. And then as price came back down, it created a higher low. Can you see this? Lower low, and a higher low. This low was higher than this low, so I'm going to count that as a higher low. So we've got higher highs and higher lows. So it's a break of market structure. So higher low. There we go. And let's make this like that. Higher low. Higher low. And if you're not saving these kind of things as templates, then you're missing out, because it saves so much time. So we've got a higher low, and this was also a higher high, at least in the lower time frames. No, higher high. Sorry, it should be a higher high. Let's make it a straight line. A higher high. There we go. That's cooler. So I want to, for this to, I mean, if this is the ABC here, right? If this is, because this looks corrective, this might be a WXY, right? And then, but then here's the thing, right? This is my thought process, okay? If this was a ABC or a WXY, and this kind of looks impulsive, but this looks corrective, it does kind of feel corrective to me, but it could be impulsive. We could get a let's have a look. We could have a you can see this is like my macro problem solving. I'm not going too deep. I'm having these like macro ideas. So that could be a wave 1, 2, a 3, and then a failed fifth, perhaps. And then we've got a wave 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, that could be an impulse. And then wave 2. This is corrective. I mean, look, you can't get any clearer. Like ABC, that's 100% corrective, right? So this wouldn't be a failed fifth. It's just, there's no way. That's a 1, 2, 3. There's no arguing there. So let's say I decided that this is an ABC and this is the correction, right? This is the whole correction. It's like, okay, well, what follows a wave 2 correction? Wave 1, wave 2. What's next? Wave 3. And what do we know about wave 3s? What's poignant about wave 3s? What are we expecting of wave 3s, right? Not this. We're expecting volume. We're expecting power, right? And I'm not seeing that. This looks pretty weak to me. I mean, just God, look at the angle of the wave 1, right? And compare that to the angle. Like, really, that's your wave 3. I'm not very impressed. So this is why, like, when you've got your hypothesis, you just let the waves do the speaking. If you're expecting a wave 3 and you get something like this, don't just like knuckle down and be like, no, it's wave 3. That's my wave count. No. Let the price do the talking. Let me go back in the chat to see if you guys are writing anything. You're not. Cool. So back to my screen. Okay. So I don't think this is a wave 3. It's just not giving me enough power. So I kind of think that this is still so far, this is still the correction. We've got an AB, which would mean that either an AB or a WX at this point doesn't really matter, because we would still be getting a move down. So we have got some. Let's have a look at the volume. Yeah, we haven't got divergence in the volume. We've got like an increase in volume there. So we haven't got divergence in the volume. Let's look at the momentum. Oh, I haven't got that turned on this chart. Let's have a look. Normally I sort of would build this all together. I haven't customized this, but let's have a quick look at the RSI. Yeah, there's a tiny bit of divergence on the RSI, ever so slightly, which is still fine. It's still divergence. Let's look at the MACD. I wonder if it's going to save my settings. I've got to customize it. Yeah, it hasn't got any of my settings. I wonder if I can, if it's going to save them. No. Yeah, because I just like the histogram. Well, let's for a start. Let's just turn off. I know some people like these moving averages, but I just turn them off, because I just need the style. Here we go. Yeah, MACD, turn that off. Histogram, keep that on. Signal, turn that off. Nice. Yeah, so I just use yeah, that's it. Wrong way around. Sorry guys, this is not fun for you, but I'm an artist at heart. It's got to look beautiful. So okay, so we're seeing divergence with the MACD as well. So we are seeing a slowing of momentum with the RSI, and in fact, sorry, let's just get rid of this as well. Don't need that. Just make that white. Good job. So we are seeing a slowdown in momentum with the RSI and MACD, which is cool, but we're not synced with the volume. So we haven't got a full house, right? We haven't got a royal flush, and it does look like we've got an impulse down here, like an impulse. And let's see what retracement we've got with that. Let's have a look. What have we got? Yes, we would have to go down and lower to get a good grip of that, but yeah, we'll have to just wait and see what that does. I'm not looking to short, because if my hypothesis is that we are going long, then don't trade counter trend. If you believe that the market is now going long and you're shorting, you better. I mean, I'm not saying don't do it. I do. You've seen me do it, but you want to be careful. If your hypothesis is that Bitcoin is going to 10,000, then you want to have a bias towards shorting rather than going long, because every time you're going long, you're going against your own analysis, which means you're kind of stacking the odds against you rather than with you. So, but obviously it depends on the time frame you're looking at. If you've got like you think Bitcoin's going to 10,000, but it's going to take a few months, and you're in like the 5-minute window time frame, and you see a short opportunity, that's totally fine, obviously. But if I'm looking for a downtrend here, like an A, B, and looking for a C, then we should start to see it kind of play out. The B wave has stopped at the 0.707. That's what this B wave is. It's a retracement. I think that needs to be adjusted, actually. There we go. It needs to be updated. But yeah, pretty much the same thing. So the 707, might as well just update this, actually. Let's just make it nice and clean. So that's the retracement there. Let's just, we don't need these right now. Yeah, this is the month. I think that's the monthly VWAP, the volume weighted. Let's have a look. Yeah, it's the month. So I'd want to see what if it finds support there and we get another leg up, just because of this. We do have like a spike in volume, and volume to me is kind of king. We've got a bit of a loss of momentum, but for me, volume kind of speaks a lot more. I mean, you can see here, right, this huge spike in volume and then we see like the volume, just because the volume is literally what's happening. The volume is the I mean, in terms of the on-balance volume oscillator, which shows the relative volume between buyers and sellers. I mean, look at this huge explosion in price, right? But then you see a massive drop off in volume, and guaranteed we'll be seeing the same thing. See, look at the RSI. In this sense, the momentum continued upwards, right? Now with the MACD, which is more related to the price, we see like the divergence. But where with here, right, we've got divergence with the RSI and the MACD, which is about more sort of momentum, and we don't see it with the volume. This to me is much more. This would make me feel much more confident because we have such a divergence in the volume. And to me, the RSI isn't like the volume is kind of king. You know, the volume overpowers, and we have the MACD kind of. You know, if the MACD was also bullish, then you know we're getting some mixed signals. But yeah, the fact we've got this big divergence with the volume, that's what like you classically see with wave 3 and wave 5. So yeah, anyway, so I'll go back to what I was saying. If I was looking for a trade setup, there's no trade setup now. I would I'd want to see something a bit cleaner. If I was looking to get into a short position, for example, I'd want to see a cleaner wave 1 and wave 2, so I could draw my base channel, and then I would do what I teach in the course, where I'm looking for potential entries into wave 3s. It might be a pullback in the wave 2. Look at the wave 2 subwave structure. Am I seeing a corrective pattern? If so, then you can potentially look for some short entries, or you might want to wait until price is broken out at the top of the base channel, come back and found support, and then you've got your wave 3 entry outside the base channel. But right now there's no base channel. If I can't draw a base channel, I'm not going to attempt to get into the beginning of an impulse. I mean, if I was to draw a base channel here, assuming that's what was going on, then let's have a look. What degree would we be on? I suppose we would be on that degree. I mean, I mean, I'll just keep that on there, because if that was wave 1 and that is wave 2, then we'll be seeing like a big spike, and it would, you know, break down. But it feels kind of steep for a wave 1. And although this was very steep, it did still play out quite nicely because we had such an explosive move. But look at the yeah, so I'm not seeing a trade setup right now for sure. I'm not seeing anything obvious. I'd wait this out. I'd wait this out. And I've got to stop myself saying hope. What I would be looking for, right, if I'm looking for a trade setup, if I'm expecting a long, if I'm like anticipating a big move upwards, I want to just let this play out. If it keeps on going upwards, you know, is it a flat correction? I mean, this doesn't feel impulsive. So, but you know, let that play out. If it turns into a flat correction, then we've got we would expect the C wave to kind of come down to this kind of area. And then what's that C wave doing? Is that C wave impulsive? These are the retracement levels that would be looking at for the retrace right there. Yeah, at the moment anyway, from if this was wave 1 and this is wave 2, in fact that should be green. Let's just change that to there. Actually, let's change it to, oops, there we go. Yeah, so if this is a wave 2, well then, you know, 61.8 or 0.618 is kind of like the go-to. But if this is wave A, we would expect, you know, and this is wave B, we would expect wave C to, in fact, if I draw a corrective channel, then it would show us kind of what we'd be sort of looking at in terms of our sort of corrective targeting, right? So let's make that, yeah, so we kind of, you know, be kind of looking like that. So if this plays out this way, we'll be looking at the kind of like the end of this channel for it to complete, because as you know, corrections tend to be contained, not always obviously, but they have a propensity to be contained within a single channel, or it's obviously quite it's also quite common that the C wave can just sort of poke its leg out the bottom slightly, but corrections do tend to be contained within a single channel. So that's what I'll be looking at, right? I'll be watching this, and as it comes down here, thing is, like, even if it comes down here, and this is the challenge with trading, getting into wave twos, is that look at the distance it's got to travel for our stop loss. Now, given the reward to risk ratio, is that, going back to my other chart, we've got this, you know, the reward to risk ratio is you know, really, really nice if we're expecting this move all the way up here. Sorry, even more. Sorry, crud. Like, look, assuming that we would want to trade all that, which is not necessarily part of someone's plan, because, you know, maybe you've done this where you get all this profit potential and you think, no, I'm going to hold out, and then it comes all the way down, and it turns out, and then it stops you out, or you do a profit stop where, you know, you're raising your stop loss and you don't take a loss, but you lose out on a lot of profit because it turns out that it was still the X wave, you know. So now, I'm not saying to do either way, but it depends on your particular trading style. If you want to be more cautious, if you want to, you know, whatever it is. But if we stay true to my current primary, then if this happens, and this is another pitchfork, and let's say it did this and price hit the top of the upper median line, then you might want to take some profits, right? And then with the idea that you would then add on as the wave two comes down, and then if it keeps on coming down, well, at least you've taken some profits. I'm personally, especially when I'm recommending things to you guys, it's much better to always on the side of being conservative, because it's much better to make small, like, just lots and lots of small profits over time, than just kind of stressing yourself out trying to go for the massive lottery tickets. Like, you know, some people they want to do that, but I think a lot of that is down to greed and just wanting the Lambos and stuff, and I think that's what messes people up. Like, I mean, think about this, right? I think, if I remember this correctly, if you have, I remember I think it was with Corey I shared this with. If you've got a $10,000 account and you make and you grow your account by 10% a month, which is amazing, totally possible. Like, God, some months my account would grow 20%, and there's, you can grow your, like, it's possible to grow your account more than that, but I mean, obviously it's down to all kinds of stuff, your psychology, your emotions, performance, but 10% is amazing. Like, if you can grow your account by 10% a month, that is amazing, right? 5% is great. It doesn't sound like a lot. You think, well, 5%. But if you have a $10,000 account and you're growing it by 10% a month, in 6 years you'll be a millionaire, right? It's all about just being patient and just taking the wins. Stop trying to go for the big stuff, you know. Like, if you get a great move and you get a big win, great, but just it's about just grabbing the wins, like getting the wins in, get just lots and lots of little wins. And if you can get just lots and lots of as many little wins over time, and you end up consistently growing your account by 10% a month, you are set for life. I'm telling you, you know. Let me go back to my chat, see if you guys say anything. Tony says, is the grey line on the main chart VWAP or moving average? It's a VWAP. Yeah, it's a VWAP. Sorry, it was on this one, wasn't it? I think I took it off, didn't I? Oh no, there it is. Yeah, it's the monthly VWAP. So that's the month VWAP. Volume. We are going to go into VWAP and other more advanced volume dynamics in later modules. I'm just going through. I'm layering over the pitchfork stuff first because it's just bloody awesome, and it's yeah. I'm teaching in the order that I think is the most powerful, and then we are going to get to more interesting volume analysis that will include VWAP. But for now, we're just keeping it mostly on pitchforks because we're sticking more in like trend direction, which I think it's the perfect extension of Elliott wave. So going back to what I was saying, so yeah, I'm not. It hasn't broken out above this lower high or this lower high. So and you've heard me, say all the time, like it's so much more dangerous trying to do like this. Like if we're expecting this is the entire impulse, well then, looking for an entry right now, like the beginning of this first wave, it's just so high risk. So I want to wait for price to break out above this, break this market structure, and really just like break out of the bottom. You can see I've got a big old line here, right? I want to see it break out of this descending channel and confirm that this channel is now, this trend has changed. And then if it comes back, let's say it does this, right? Let's say it does, it kind of, I don't think it's going to do this. I think it's going to come back down first. I think it's going to come down like, back there. And then let's say this is wave 1 and wave 2, and we get like it just pops like this, right? Then I'm going to want to see, what's it going to do with this median line? If it comes back down and it bounces off this median line here, right? Then just as an example, sorry, that's not a good example. Sorry, let me do this one more time. I'll change the color as well, because now we're going just to make it look different. So let's say we did this. We get a pull down to here, and then it just jumps up like this, past the median line. It comes back down and tests it, and it does that, right? That might be a very interesting trade setup because of this market structure right here, because we've got this lower high here, just a little bit lower, so that it's an interesting place to potentially put a stop. I'm not saying 100%, but I'm saying we have some kind of market structure. If it exploded up really high like this, then, well, yeah, you've got this as potential support. But the higher you get, the more you're kind of chasing. So I think something much more comfortable would be if it kind of bounces off the median line and comes back down and then finds support. I want to see it find support on something a bit more solid. And if we've got this lower high here combined with this descending channel, so I want to see some things combined if I'm going to look to get in here. But even saying that, like if this plays out, then it's going to come back to us anyway. Like it's kind of like, don't stress, it's going to come back to us. So if it does this, and it comes back down like this, and then let's say it gives us a really nice impulsive structure here. You might want to, you might find opportunities to get into that, because like I go through in the course, there's the third wave and the fifth wave. But then if we get like a really nice correction down, you'll have another opportunity to get in, and then that's that's the best wave, the third wave, and getting a bit of confirmation. And if that did play out, then this wave 2 would be coming down. When we've got all this potential support. And if I turn on the my heat map, I think that's it. Yeah, we can see that if I make it a bit wider, we can see like all these zones of again, we're going to be getting into this in later modules, but all these volume price levels, right? So as price comes down into those levels, combined with the fact we're expecting a wave 2, and at the same time, by the way, I haven't even mentioned, as this is all going on, we're going to be laying on new new pitchforks to help us look at these lower degree potential low degree trend changes. So for example, one just really quick one we could do, and I've got a feeling we're going to need a shift pitchfork for this. Let's change that to a shift. And yeah, so that's definitely not a third wave. Absolutely not. That's definitely not a third wave. It's just all I'm seeing is weakness. So yeah, absolutely not. So this is still a correction, right? It's still a correction. So yeah, so just gonna see how this correction plays out. Just see how that correction plays out. Let's see if we can see anything else. Shift again. Yeah, there we go. So here's just a shift pitchfork that's showing that this wave that this wave is showing weakness, but that's what you'd expect with a correction anyway. So that's pinged that nicely. So now, because it's pinged the median line nicely, I know that now these pivot points are giving us a window into something, because it bounced off this absolutely perfectly. So now I'll be looking at this line here as another thing we'd be looking at. I'd want it to break out outside this median line to give us a bit more confirmation that this is going to change direction. Let's make this nice and thick. There we go. Right. So we've just discovered that right now. I know we haven't covered shift pitchforks yet. If you're not on module 19, but this is how you do it. You just have ideas and you play and you experiment with things. And once you find a pitchfork that price is responding to, you keep it. Now this pitchfork is bullish and this one is bearish. So we'd want to see which one's going to take over. And obviously the wave count that I've got here says that the bullish one is going to take over. But like I said, until we get confirmation, we just don't know yet. Let's go back in the chat. No questions. Yeah, we've got 19 people here. Just so I know that you guys are paying attention. If there's 19 people here, give me a wave in the chat. Give me your best emoji. Give me an emoji that is reflective of how you're feeling inside, right, in the chat, or an emoji that reflects your soul, your spirit animal. Haldor is feeling peaceful. Corey's seeing the money. Or it looks like Haldor's doing that thing over the back of Corey's head. Christopher's angry. Why are you angry, Chris? What's going on? Evie is feeling like an alien. Dan is horrified, I think. Leslie's just having a good old time. Carlos is looking like an absolute nerd. Giuseppe's seeing the money. Marcus is a cool dude. This is fun. What's up, Chris? How come you pissed off? But now let's keep the vibes positive. Let's keep the vibes good. Cool, wicked, nice. All right, let's get back to it. You guys enjoying this? You guys like enjoying listening to me kind of waffle on? I'm assuming so, because these are all relatively smiley faces, apart from the occasional one. Tony's feeling really special, really special. All right, wicked, cool. I'll carry on. We've got another 15 minutes. Okay, so if there's any suggestions, questions, anything like that. So yeah, we can see here that, so really, if I go to, where is it? We can see that this area here is what I'm looking at, right? Is it going to break out above this area here? Right? Because we've got the upper parallel of this median line, which price is responding to. And then we've got this this bullish pitchfork, which is the one that is kind of taking us in this direction. I wonder if there's any more pitchforks that should be relevant. I'm sure I've got loads that I've kind of made disappear, because they do get pretty all over. Yeah, I've got probably quite a few. Let's have a look. Yeah, that's a reverse pitchfork. So that one is taking us up here. Okay, I have no consequence right now. I've already got that one. That's going. Yeah, that's of no consequence. That's not really helping us now. Keep that off. So I think that's all the pitchforks I've got. I wonder if there's any others that would be of any use to us. No, I want to just wait to see what happens now. So we've got a lot of support here, resistance areas, and this price action is not telling me that it's going to be, it's going to be heading out above that. It's just not. It's not there. So I would be expecting it to come back down here. That's my mystic more moment. I'm expecting it to go down here. That's my mystic more. It's Monday as well. It's Mystic Moore's Monday magic. Mystic Moore's Monday mystical magical manifestation. That's what I'm looking at. I've got a little long thing there. So yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking. And but what would probably happen though is it would kind of come off a bit sideways probably, because we've got such a, if this spike is representative of a lot of bullish power, then we're probably going to get a more gentle kind of like a struggling wave C that, you know, sort of into this kind of area here. That's kind of what I would be looking at, and that would be invalidated. Why would that be invalidated? Well, if it breaks out above here, then yeah, then that little down thing's invalidated, and this must have been the ABC. And if it does it with volume, then hey, there we go. I guess that was the wave 3. But right now, I'm not seeing that. I'm not seeing this as wave 3. Even this, if this is wave 1, this is corrective. You can see it. Like, look, 1, 2, 3, A, B, C, W, X, Y, something like that. Now this here, we've got some volume coming in. So this looks impulsive here, but this doesn't. So you know, it's not looking clean. So just have to kind of wait it out, you know. Yeah. So I don't know if that helps. Sorry, I don't know if you can hear my housemate. He's on the phone. He talks quite loud. So if you're wondering why there's a voice behind me. Here's a fun one. There's some really sort of interesting stuff. Like when I go down rabbit holes, which I've got to be really careful not to go down because I don't have the time at the moment, but it'll be so easy to go down rabbit holes. Like, did I save it? I don't think I saved it. Yeah, like if I don't know if you've ever done this. We've gone into the indicators search bar and just gone a bit crazy, right? There is some crazy stuff in here. What did I find? Like, oh, there's this crazy. It's just nuts. There's crazy stuff. Like this one, was this the one? There was ones I saw that was like tracking. What did I see? What did I find? I think it was moon harmonics. Was that it? Oh, this was it down here. Oh man, there are some deep rabbit holes that I want to dive in. I want to just go nuts, man. How cool does that look? Let's get rid of this one. Right, like moon harmonics. Come on, how amazing would that be if I discovered some crazy shit like this? I'm like, guys, check this out. Like when the moon is in this, like I'm fascinated by all this stuff, you know, like, but it's hard not to sound like a hippie when you start talking about this kind of stuff. By the way, I have no idea what this is. I just kind of just turned it on. I don't know if you've done that, gone into the indicators and just sort of typed things and then just found like crazy indicators that people have typed in. Maybe you've seen that we kind of played around with the moon phases. And I've even got it here, like MP. I've still got it on my chart. MP is the moon phases. And I was reading this thing the other day about how every planet has a frequency, and not even some kind of hippy dippy thing. It actually has a frequency, right? That is vibrating at an octave that is just so far below our hearing range. And this is fascinating. The Earth has its frequency. If you go up the octaves to where we can hear it, is a G, is the note of a G. The moon is a G sharp, and the sun is a C sharp. And this article I was reading was talking about how like certain cultures, like Indian music, is very much about like the sun, and there's a lot of C sharps, and also the Tibetan chants when they chant that the tone of that is usually C sharp, which is the sun. And I think like in the West, like Baroque classical music used to be in frequency with the moon, which was G sharp, and then it changed to, anyway, the point is, if astrology is true, it's not, it would be not based on kind of any kind of hippie stuff. It would be based in science of, as the celestial bodies are moving around Earth, closer to Earth, then we would be the changing tapestry of frequencies would impact us in different ways. If there was a science to it, it'd be something to do with that. And the fact that, you know, me and Shaman and we've kind of played with the moon thing, kind of not taking it too seriously, but we do see like some patterns. And you know, I am a little bit of a hippie, and I definitely once this course is done, like I'm not going down that route with this course because I'm only teaching what I know, obviously, but I can see myself going deep into some crazy stuff and just exploring, just testing stuff out and playing with stuff. Yeah, I mean, God, like all the secret societies, all the they were all into like the super esoteric stuff. So there's part of me that's just like would totally just go balls deep. Pardon the expression. Probably shouldn't say that. Leslie says, interesting, the planets. Shaman says, loving the analysis. Yeah. Yeah, Evie, you're going to be into this stuff. Look at your profile. Look at Evie's profile photo. Evie will be well into what I'm talking about, all this vibrations, frequencies. But even with Andrew's pitchforks, like, let me show you this. I think I've still got it. It'll be on the Bitstamp one. I've got to zoom right out now, right? I think I've still got this on my chart, right? Since we're talking about frequency, right? We're talking about frequency. Yeah, I've still got it. Here we go. Look at this. Look at this. Let me go into the 12 hour. So these angles are perfectly equidistant, and we can see it kind of develops, and we can see like resistance here. We can see, look at the angle of these corrections, right? And the resistance here, the next one over, resistance there, the next one over, resistance here, right? And where did this price stop at this all-time low here? Like there's these these intermediary lines here, and where did price stop? If I zoom right in, trying to get my what am I looking at? Yeah, it was here. That's it. Yeah, so I've already drawn it out. When price came down here, it stopped right on this line here. And how else could you describe what we're witnessing? How else could you describe this without talking about like frequency? Like there's a you know, wom. Like, you explain it to me. Make this make sense. And I can't even remember how I found this angle and how I found this kind of this regularity. I think I was experimenting with the pitchfork. I found something, I kind of copied it over, and I just found this pattern. So I'm not going to be teaching this yet, because this is like a lot of the times what I'm doing is I'm experimenting, I'm playing, I'm trying to find. I'm like an investigator trying to find. Like I'm definitely the kind of personality that would like discover some new shit. I'd invent my own like method, you know, like I'm Elliot reborn, you know. But there's this frequency that Bitcoin has been responding to as it's gone down this correction. I mean, look, this is not an accident. This is not like random, right? That's like, look at the slope of this correction. Like, look at all this resistance here. The next one over, that's when it finds resistance. The next one over, that's when it finds resistance, right? And like, you've seen the prices that we've all been, maybe you've seen this. What's the price we've all been talking about? We've all been talking about, if this this plays out, and this is the wave 4, right? This should be above it, right? If that's wave 4 and this is wave 5, well, where might wave 5 come down to? Well, if wave 5 comes down to here, that's like 15,000. And I mean, God, like these levels down here would be like, you know, But because of this consistency of like price finding like support here, finding support here, finding support here, I would be looking for well, but this is when the trend is continuing. But if it continued with the same strength, we'd be looking at these kind of levels, right? But we'll see. But I'm just saying, like, there's a pattern that I've sort of found, and I can't describe it in any other way than frequency. Like if you disturbed, if this was like like water, and you just did a chop on the water, and the waves would like travel across the in this case time, and like it's traveling across time and space, or time and price. And it's just fascinating to me, and this is what I think is so fascinating about Andrew's median lines in particular, because I think they reveal something. They reveal that there are forces at play, that price, which is a product of human beings making trading decisions, right? We're responding to something in the same way that objects respond to gravity. You can't see gravity, but there is an underlying law that is governing the motion of that object. And there's something about financial markets, or if you want to take a step back, there's something about the activity of human beings, which is what Elliot was obviously is all about. There's something to do with crowds acting, adhering to something. There's some law, some force, or a collection of these interacting laws and forces, which what we're doing with Elliott Wave and Andrew's median lines is we're not like we're getting a little peek into something. We're getting a window into something a lot more profound. So with that, I will stop sharing my screen because we've been going for an hour now. Christopher says, so interesting. That's nuts. Love it. By the way, I'm not angry. Just have fat fingers. Tony says, wow. Carlos says, everything's connected. Yes, I believe that. Everything is connected. Haldor says, everything's energy. Carlos, amazing. Corey says, Garn. Yeah, Garn is someone he's next on my list of people to explore, because Garn was really big on temporal analysis, right? He was obsessed with when something was going to happen rather than just at what price. And I would love to really dig in there. And like he's one of these like esoteric, like he was massive into astrology and all kinds of stuff. So GAN is someone that I really want to look into when I've got time. But I'm not going to be teaching GAN on this course because I can only teach what I know, So, but in the future, who knows? Leslie says, "Yep, everything is frequency, energy." Tony, what's that instrument called? What instrument? The lines? I just drew them. They're just lines. That's not an instrument. That's just lines I've just drawn and then just copied, right? I think I had a pitchfork or pitchforks, and then I traced them and then copied them over again and again and again. Yes, it's manually done. Every line is manually done, right? But with the pitchforks, you are looking for pivot points. But with what I just showed you, that was all manual. I can't remember how I tried to replicate it. I can't remember how I discovered it, because if I can discover the method for how I found that, because what I was thinking, I was chatting to Shaman about this. I was thinking that maybe what I had discovered is some kind of counter trend frequency that where corrections kind of they find resistance at these frequency levels, but I couldn't replicate it, at least in the time that I spent on it. I couldn't replicate it, but I'm sure there's something there. Like, it would be kind of cool, wouldn't it, if every correction has a kind of this kind of like a resonance, like a frequency to map when it's going to find the next support level. I mean, that's what we're seeing right now with what I've done. So yeah, anyway, so Tony says, by the way, thank you, Andy, for Start Your Crypto information from this morning. It's a fantastic must-know resource. Yeah. I'm going to be selling it. to brand new people before they've obviously get to immersion. Immersion's obviously an advanced course. Well, it's for beginners, but it obviously takes you in an advanced direction. But that's like, it's all there. It's like absolute entry level. Here's what crypto is. Here's how it works. So if any of you guys don't know what Tony's talking about, go into your student house. I posted a link to like a course, like a mini course. But it's really, really extensive. A lot of you guys, you're getting quite acquainted with crypto now, but for some who there's still some acronyms and some things you're not quite sure of, then yeah, go grab it. It's going to be paid, but it's for you guys. It's free. And I want some testimonials. I want some nice words that I can put next to it. Cool. Well, look, before I go, any thoughts, questions, anything you want to say? Otherwise, we'll wrap it up, and then I'll see you guys next week for the Wavecast episode. This was episode 4. Maybe I should play some music next time. Have some music in the background. DJ Andy, DJ Wavecounter, DJ King Silver. Because normally I wouldn't just be trading with silence. I'd be playing. Look, I mean, I don't know if you can hear this. This is what I'd be playing. See? Where have you gone? I've lost you. I've lost the window. Oh, there it is. I found you. Okay. Leslie says, thanks, Andy. Marcus says, thanks, Andy. I'll turn that on. Christopher says, thanks, Andy. Loving it. Dan says, cheers, Andy. Tony, that was great. That was really great. Christopher says, maybe a Spotify playlist to accompany the Wavecast. Well, I've got it's like on YouTube Music. But the thing is, though, this music right here is coming from my speakers into the mic. So I don't know if this sounds good. But what I can do, and I will do at some point, is right now this live feed is coming straight from my camera and my mic. But what you can do, why is that turned off? What I can do is, and I will do at some point, is rather than going from the camera and the mic, it will come through software called Ecamm, and then inside Ecamm, it's like doing a Twitch stream. I can do anything I want. I can have displays. I can have music playing from wherever. So at some point, these Wavecasts will be a bit more fun, a bit more kind of like with stuff going on, I've got the colored background, which is pretty sweet. That's like this is like the Wavecounter's colors. So I'm slowly stepping it up. All right, let's wrap it up. That was Wavecast number 4. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Let's see what Price is going to do through the week. You'll see me doing my morning Wavecast every. Did I do one this morning? Fuck, I think I forgot this morning. Yeah, this morning's been pretty intense. So I'm going to try and keep it up and do it every day. So new wave count tomorrow. We'll see what Bitcoin does, and then yeah, we'll jump on again on Monday for the next Wavecast. Good night.